Good, not good enough, Angelo, or was there something under the hood here that we're not highlighting?
Well, I don't think necessarily. I mean, as far as Nvidia is concerned, this is one of those cases where, to your point, I think typically the expectations are extremely high, kind of going into an event like this, and then it seems like they can never do enough as far as the numbers are concerned. But at the end of the day, this is a company that beat on the top and the bottom line, provided guidance well above where the expectations were, and I think. When you kind of look at their addressable market opportunity here, which really has no boundaries over the next 5 to 10 years, we remain very excited about the broader Nvidia story, and we do think investors eventually come back to the name here in the coming weeks.
Okay, yeah, because there's something there, and I was looking at your note, and we know the industry itself, according to you, I think it's 22% growth last year, down to 9% growth this year. It's still not, those are still pretty good numbers in parts of it. Data center on the upside. What's the risk to even that growth, Angelo? What's the market that when you look at it, you think, okay, I'm not as sure about this than the other things?
Yeah, so as far as kind of, the segments are concerned, I mean, this is a business or a company that's being driven, right, by data centers and the gaming side of things. We do think data centers right now, you kind of look at, growing north of 70% here for the quarter, gaming about 37%. I think the question is always the sustainability of some of the orders that we're seeing for Nvidia as well as for the broader industry. As we kind of look through 2022, especially on the data center side of things, where we're most excited about, we think that the business can continue to grow at about a 30% clip. And that's really kind of driven by just that massive CapEx cycle, the fact that they're tied to the highest free cash flow generators in the world with the likes of, an Alphabet and Meta, among others. So, on that side of things, we remain extremely excited. Again, the sustainability kind of going into 2023 is where I think investors continue to have questions about. All good things eventually come to an end in terms of kind of these chip cycles. But, we're about 9 quarters into an upcycle that typically lasts about 8 to 11 quarters. This feels like a different cycle, a much stronger cycle. And we do think, most companies right now are trying to manage a soft landing eventually when that does occur, likely in 2023.
Yeah. I was out in Phoenix at a conference, Angelo, and I had the opportunity to speak with the CEO of SEMICONDUCTOR. And, we aired it yesterday morning, and he was bullish on that transition to cars, but he said he didn't think supply chains, at least in his market, were going to get markedly better anytime soon. So on one hand, you hear some positive. He was a little less positive. Where do we really stand with some of these chip shortages, or does it really come down to what the company's manufacturing capability is and or the type of market they are in?
Yeah, so I think it does have a lot to do with the type of chips we're talking about. So a lot of these trailing edge type of chips, the ones we're talking about, within the automotive and industrial end markets are clearly the ones that are most supply constrained at the moment. These chips also go into areas like a data center, among other markets. And it's part of the reason why Nvidia can't produce as many chips as maybe they want to sell. But a company like onsemi, as well as an NXP, among others, we think kind of will continue to benefit from the greater content story within the auto space. And, our view is content will grow about 5 to 10% annually here in the coming years. So that's a great thing. But at the end of the day, the supply constraints probably remain at least in those markets, constrained, at least going into 2023 at this point. It's that bad from the sense that we're looking at a number of kind of, when you kind of look at the channel out there, it just remains extremely depleted. So it's going to take a number of quarters to kind of get to where you need to get.
Yeah. Bottom line, though, stay long, stay strong. You got the buy on there, Angelo, correct?
We do have a buy recommendation, and just for the broader industry, we continue to believe we're kind of in this secular bull market, which is going to last here over the next 5 to 10 years.